Hey everyone, welcome to this special workshop. Steve and I are here with you today, and we are pumped up because we've got so much that we want to get through. And look, we're going to be showing you how you can just tear up the rule book and use a breakthrough approach to actually partner with us and build a business that generates $100,000 per year in profits from just 7 simple sales, and then scale it up from $100,000 profit per year to $300,000 per year and beyond. And look, I really want to emphasize something right now. We will present you with an opportunity doing something no one has ever done online before. So prepare to be shocked, okay? And I don't mean this lightly. This is the real deal, something no one has ever done online before. I think you're going to be quite amazed with what we have here for you. And to warm things up, this is a snapshot of what our business looks like when it's scaled down to 7 sales. Okay, if our business just did, and this is the business that we're talking about here today, the business model we're talking about here today, if that part of our business just did 7 sales, this is what the numbers would look like. $144,000 in revenue, we would have $116,000 in profit with an operational profit margin of 80.1%. So let's put this in perspective. To make $116,000 in profit selling physical products on Amazon, you'd need to do in the vicinity of $580,000, $600,000 in sales, okay? Because profit margins selling physical products are more around the 20% mark for most people. And you'd probably have to sell about 29,000 units, okay, based on a $20 sell price. So what would you rather do, make 29,000 sales or 7 sales? 2 different approaches here. And look, with 15 sales, this is what our business would look like. A sales revenue of $300,000, net profit of $242,000. To do $242,000 net profit on Amazon, you'd have to do upwards of $1.2 million. And I know this firsthand because we've got a multi-million-dollar Amazon business ourselves, and we love it, by the way. But what we're talking about here is just in a different realm in terms of the kinds of profit and the money that you can make. And you can actually see a check. Yes, some people still pay us with checks. And it always makes me laugh because we try to say, look, you can just pay us digitally. You can do a transfer, but they give us a check. So we got this one on the 23rd of January, just a few days ago, for $4,050. And that's good, right? $4,050 is good. But what's even better is that's something that we get every single month from this particular sale. So 3 big promises for you today, okay? We are going to uncover a truly unconventional way to make money, which is entirely different to anything that you would have seen before. We're going to pull back the curtains on the most profitable of all of our businesses, which has huge demand but incredibly low competition. And you'll discover how you can genuinely partner with us to build an incredible online income stream, even if you've got no prior experience. We are also going to reveal the holy grail business model that's the easiest and fastest way to build a full-time living that exists today. We've got a unique twist. We've actually got 2 of them that'll mean that we're going to be the ones doing all of the work for you, and we're going to give you a peek inside a $10 billion mega business who has built its success using the same model that we're talking about here today, and we've got much, much more. I really want to stress the point. This is unlike any other webinar that you may have been on before. And look, I roll my eyes when I'm sitting on a webinar and I hear the presenter say that, and I roll my eyes when they say, take out a pen, take out a paper, and take notes. But this is different, guys. Take this seriously. You're going to see why it's different in just a few moments' time here. And if you don't take it seriously, then you will miss out on something dramatically different today. Okay, so I want you to type hello in the chat box right now. Make sure that's working for you. It's really important that you use that because we've got some of our team in the background here. We're going to be busy answering all of your questions. And look, to get the most out of this, you need to ask questions when you've got doubt about anything, and we'll do our absolute best to make sure that we are answering your questions. So some super fast background. My name is Aidan Booth. I'm from New Zealand originally. I live in Argentina. In Buenos Aires these days. I started online in 2005, and I got started because I wanted geographic freedom. I wanted to be able to leave New Zealand, shift to Argentina, which is where my girlfriend at the time was. She's now my wife, and I needed geographic freedom to be able to do that. So I looked at online marketing. Now what I care about, I've got that. I care more about time freedom and special moments with my kids. You can see my two kids in the screen there. My son is 2 years old and my daughter is about 2 months old. So they keep us busy, it's fair to say. And Steve comes from a completely different background. Steve, why don't you chime in here and give people a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. No, super fast. One thing you could tell is that I'm a lot older because unfortunately my children are, well, they're damn near the age of Aiden and Carolina, for crying out loud. But anyway, so I'm on my second career. I did a whole career in corporate America, did about 19 years, and ended my career as a VP for a Fortune 500 company. But, you know, I was super frustrated because I had a lot of financial freedom. I was making really good money. But I had, you know, Aiden talks about freedom all the time. We always talk about this. I had no time freedom, no geographic freedom. I was a crazy, frustrated entrepreneur. And I just said, forget it. I'm just not doing it anymore. And I you know, started to become a serial entrepreneur with online businesses. And I haven't had to have a real job since. And I have zero regrets. Somebody asked me that the other day. Zero.
Yeah. And look, we're really, really passionate about this. And we're passionate about sharing our experience with others. We've helped thousands of people build online businesses over the past decade. And sometimes when we reflect on that, it's just humbling and it's amazing that we've been able to help these people. And I feel grateful for that. We've also helped hundreds of people on a one-on-one level through some of our masterminds and things like that we've done. We've seen what works and what doesn't. This has given us a unique insight through our own first-hand experiences, but through the experiences of our students as well. Now, these success stories that you are seeing here, they might be a bit small to read, but what you're seeing is just a handful of student results, and these are from the program that we released about a year ago in January 2018, and they're just the tip of the iceberg. Now, who knows who these guys are in the middle? Silly question probably for a lot of you, but that is, of course, Steve Jobs on the left of the screen there. And who knows who the guy on the right on his left shoulder is? Who's that guy? Anyone know who that is? You might not know his name, and it doesn't really matter, but what does matter is that he was on the ground floor of Apple. I mean, he was there at the beginning. It was Wozniak, it was Steve Jobs, and then it was this random guy. And this guy was the first investor. Yeah, this guy was the first investor in Apple. And we've already said that what we're presenting here is radically different to anything that you would have seen before. But just imagine if you were able to get in on the ground floor and be one of the first partners in Apple or Facebook or McDonald's or Netflix. Well, that's an example of the kind of thing that we'll be sharing with you today. And it's a serious opportunity for serious people. So with that said, I want you to prove to me right now that you're serious by giving me a yes in the chat box. If you're serious about this, if you're here to make a real change in your life, and if you're excited about what you're going to hear, then give me a yes in the chat box, because we're going to dive into this and get serious with it right now. Let's get straight on a few things. Making money online is hard. You probably agree with me, and it's getting harder. And anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. Okay, competition using most models is increasing every single day, and it's also getting more and more expensive to build an online business. Just look at Facebook advertising costs, Amazon advertising costs. They're going up year on year. Okay, now let me know what you're doing right now. Just let me know. Type it in the chat box. Are you stuck in a job that you might be trying to get out of? Are you doing affiliate marketing, physical products? Are you, Amazon FBA? Perhaps you're in one of our programs. Are you doing something else? Let us know in the chat box. Okay, we've got people saying Amazon FBA, print on demand, digital marketing. I work a nurse. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm a builder. I'm currently unemployed. I'm looking to get ahead. I'm floundering around. I'm stuck in a day job. Yep. Okay. Well, there's definitely the full cross spectrum of people here, which doesn't surprise me because there are many, many people here today. But look, what I want you to know is that through all of the years that we have been doing this and having taught thousands of newbies, business owners and entrepreneurs, we've come to know exactly which obstacles people run into in trying to build a successful online business. And I'm going to work through them in just a second, but can you hazard a guess as to what they are? Use the question box right now. Let me know what you think some of these biggest obstacles might be. And it's really important that you know these, because once you know your obstacle, it's a bit like knowing your enemy. Okay, you need to know what you're up against so that you can ensure that you get the better of it and you don't get dragged down by them. Okay, so the first one, okay, is money. Now, the first obstacle is money, and not just money, but insufficient profits. Some people think you need money to make money, but that's just not the case, especially with what we're talking about here today. We've got hundreds of examples of successful students who started with absolutely nothing and built hugely successful businesses. Martin sent me this screenshot, and it shows how he went from $0 to $500,000 in sales in just 4.5 months. And he started on a shoestring budget. Now, I'm not going to deny it. Capital can help serve you, definitely. But the beauty of the unique business that we're talking about here today, as you'll find out, is that it doesn't take much to start. And if you're in the worst financial situation that you can imagine right now, if you truly want to get wealthy, then you can. Even if you don't have resources at your disposal, I've always believed that it's more important to be resourceful. Okay, so if you think your current financial situation puts you in a position that's going to prevent you from moving forward with this business or any other, then I want you to change the way that you're thinking. And I urge you to think again. And what should excite you even more is that what we're talking about here today is something with sky-high profit margins, not 10%, not 20%, not 30%, not even 50%, but upwards of 70%. And that's a real game changer in itself because it's going to stack the odds in your favor so much more. So that's the first one, money. Money is not going to get in your way. Don't let that be an obstacle. The second, so many people mentioned this in the chat box, is time. And to me, this is the biggest challenge of all. Time, though, shouldn't be a barrier from stopping you getting ahead. And look at the results from people like Salman, who, while working full-time, made his business work. In fact, he did $696 in his first 20 days. Or Tim, who made $3,157 in revenue in his first 13 days. And what we'll discuss here with you today will allow you to earn thousands in days of starting, within days of starting, not weeks, not months, not years, okay, but within days of starting. And look, I know that's a big claim, and I know it's a big claim. It may even be something you've heard before, but you'll see why this is an absolute reality in a few minutes' time here. And one other thing, just on the subject of time, is that people are either good at making money or they're good at making excuses. But very seldom do I ever see anyone who's good at both. So you need to pick one, and I want you to make sure that the one you pick is that you're good at making money. Now, the third obstacle is ability. And it's not just ability, but it's self-confidence as well. And you might be thinking, and let me know as we go along here if you are thinking about any of this stuff. You might be thinking, Steve, Aiden, what if I'm just not up to the task, technically speaking? What if no matter how hard I try, it's just too hard for me to learn this? Look, I get it. And I remember thinking like that when I started out. The thing to remember about this is that if only the brightest students succeeded with business, then it'd be the PhDs who had all the money. But instead, they typically end up working for people like you and me. And I'm not going to downplay that there's a learning curve here. However, as we go through everything today, I'll explain why this is the easiest way to get ahead. And I'm going to try to explain it in the easiest way that we possibly can here. So I want you to think, do you feel like you could do this? And hopefully you'll see that you can, because regular people like Kieran, who came into one of our programs, he built a multi-million-dollar business, 1.2 million in the first 12 months, and he had no prior experience or expertise whatsoever. He was just a dedicated student. He even said, I wasn't sure I'd be able to pull it off. And that's the beauty of online business. Ability and talent does not matter. What matters is the process, and that's exactly what we're giving you here today. The next one is confusion. Now, I know that you're probably getting pulled in a dozen different directions. You're on different emailing lists, and different people are telling you one business model is fantastic, this other thing is fantastic. What this causes is confusion in your mind. You've got a million questions happening in your mind. What about this? Or what about that? Or what if I change this? What if that happens? I want you to know this. What we're talking about here is the simplest model that we have ever done. And we've tried all of the online business models that you could probably imagine. We can help you get clarity and we can help you get results, just like we helped Jordan reach $200 per day after in just a couple of weeks. And Jordan had failed for a couple of years before we were able to help him clear out that confusion and start making a lot of money. And then the next one is fear. okay? And this is probably the biggest of all, whether you realize it or not. And we can help you with the other 4, but we need you to help us with this one. It's scary to go outside your comfort zone, and it's normal to feel this way. You know, the easiest thing that you can do is to do what you've always done. But if you keep doing what you've always done, we kind of know how that's going to pan out because you're going to keep getting the same results that you've always gotten. So it's also common and, you know, completely normal to think, well, what if I screw up? What if I make a mistake? What if I do something wrong? Well, guess what? We all screw up. We all make mistakes. We all do something wrong. But we're going to show you how we can absolutely minimize the mistakes and hold your hand every step of the way, okay? And check out the email that Tara sent us a few weeks ago. She went outside of her comfort zone, started from scratch with no prior experience, set aside her fears, and is crushing it, sometimes doing over $400,000 per month. She's changed her family's future forever, and she's done it while looking after her family, and she's actually homeschooling her 4 kids, okay? So when you're able to make the reason why you're doing this bigger than the fears that you have, then that's the best way that you can proceed. So let me know in the question box, have these things affected you in the past? Let me know. Just let me know your experience in the chat box. Yep. And they still do for some people. Yep. All of them, fear, money, yep, time, a lot of people are saying all of them. Yeah, I mean, these are the 5 common things that we've seen in all of our students over the years. So it wouldn't surprise me if all of them do affect you, at least to different degrees, right? But look, know your enemy, know these things are out there, and know that you're sort of pre-programmed to have these things cut you down and you can bypass them. So again, understand what your why is. When you know why you're doing this, you're so much more likely to succeed. And statistics show that you're 87% more likely to succeed when you've got a really strong reason why. The bigger your why, the more likely you'll succeed. And I'll give you my example. My example are my 2 kids, my 2-year-old and my 2-month-old. They are the people that get me out of bed in the morning, get me working hard each day, because I want to provide a better future for them than what I've had. And, you know, I've been pretty fortunate over the past few years with my business, but it still drives me to be able to help my kids. I asked Peter, one of our students, about his reason why. And Peter is a firefighter in Australia. And in 8 months working with us, he built a $250,000 per year business. And I asked him what his motivator was. And he told me that while he loves most of the parts of his job, remember he's a firefighter, one of the reasons he was driven to build his own business was because his day job, it can be extremely taxing mentally and physically. So dealing with high stress, emergencies, internal work politics, God, a lot of you can probably relate to those. The risks of physical harm in his job as well. And, you know, it was just very taxing. And he felt that while he loves helping the community as a firefighter, he just felt that he wasn't in the driver's seat of his own destiny. He wants to be able to travel and live life based on his own agenda. So Peter has a really strong reason why, and it's one of the reasons that he was able to get really quick results. Now, everyone has a different reason why, and sometimes it's just to relieve the pressure on a spouse, or to support some family members, or to give to charity, or to retire comfortably, to have more time for friends and family, or whatever it might be. But understand what yours is, and let that be your jet fuel that, you know, propels you on towards the finish line. So right before we get into the meat here, I want to do one last little exercise with you. And what I want you to do is to step into my time machine for just a second here. Step into my time machine and imagine that you've traveled in time, and let's say that it's 8 a.m. in the morning on the 10th of January, 2020. It's about 1 year from now, okay? You wake up and you've made $1,343 while you've been asleep, just like Nick had done. Okay, your part-time business earns you more money than you know how to spend. It basically runs on its own at this point. You've got systems in place to do all the heavy lifting for you. It gives you more free time to spend with your kids, your grandchildren, on the golf course, walking on the beach, or whatever it is that you want to do with your time, because you've got freedom. You've got freedom to be anywhere in the world. You could be in Vietnam, like I was in that photo there, or on the beaches in the Caribbean, or diving in Fiji, or in the Swiss Alps. All you need is an internet connection to check in on things once in a while. And you can have this within 12 months easily. You can get financial freedom, you can get the time freedom, you can get geographic freedom. And look, it's not going to be easy. It hasn't been easy to get to where you are, you know, early January 2020. You've had to do some work, blast through a few barriers, but nonetheless, you're there and it's been fun. This is not a pipe dream. Okay, this isn't fiction. This is the reality that some of you on this workshop here today will face. It's a pretty picture, and it's attainable to everyone. And best of all, you can start reaping the rewards of what we're talking about here today in just a couple of weeks' time. But please, don't confuse what we're talking about here today with anything that you've heard on any other webinar in the past or anything that you've tried in the past, because it's very, very different. And you owe it to yourself to listen to this through. So, Steve, I've spoken about the 5 obstacles now. I'll hand it over to you, and you can take people through, our sort of idea of the Holy Grail business, and I'll be busy here in the back end with some questions.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Aidan. Well, first of all, I hope everybody cuts me a little bit of slack today, because I find myself in a weird position because I'm actually a little nervous, and I don't ever get nervous when talking to people. But I am, and I think it's because I was trying to figure it out. I think it's because I'm feeling a tremendous amount of responsibility, because I know how life-changing the opportunity that's going to be put in front of you is. And I need to make sure that I absolutely nail my ability to communicate to you how important it is and how amazing it is and how different it is. And so I'm going to get a little excited. I might get a little aggressive. I might get a little yelling and screaming and that kind of stuff. And so I apologize up front, and I hope you cut me some slack, because there is much at stake here, guys. Okay, so why do we care about a Holy Grail of business model? The reason is, Aidan talked about this. We are passionate about helping the most amount of people that we can, right? Having the biggest impact on the most amount of people that we can by teaching them how to build their own businesses and really basically achieve their why, by doing that, And so in doing that, we typically, we run a training session once a year, and we are constantly looking for the easiest way, the path of least resistance, the best way to have the biggest impact on the most amount of people. That is our goal, all right? So in doing that, we try to figure out, and we try to talk all the time about, all right, well, what is the Holy Grail business model? What is the best business model? And so it's really important for you to understand what went into our decision to move forward in the way that we did. But plus, you can use these to evaluate any, business model ideas or opportunities that come your way. All right? We've got 14 things that we look for, 14 things that you have to check those 14 boxes in order to make sure that this is the right opportunity and the right path to have the biggest impact on the most amount of people, okay? You got to have rapid results. You need, for just a ton of reasons. You can't wait around psychologically, just keeping the faith, getting the cash in. You got to have rapid results. You've got to have high profits in year one. That drives so much. It drives satisfaction. It drives cash flow. It drives the obvious things, right? Just success in year one. But along with that, right, it's not good enough that you have just high profits in year one. You've also got to have high profits in, say, year 2, year 3, basically, and beyond. So then you've got something that can bring in good profits but can also scale, okay? And that's really, really important. High margins. It takes a certain amount of effort to make a sale. So if you're selling goods that you manufacture in China and import into the U.S. and sell online, which we do a ton of, millions and millions of dollars a year, it's great business. But if you're doing that, you're going to exert a certain amount of effort to make a sale, and you're going to get a return of maybe 10%, 15%, maybe 20% if you're lucky. So that's just the nature of the business. So if you can have higher margins, like 60, 70, 80%, now you're cooking with gas, right? That is the kind of that belongs in the Holy Grail of business model, if you could check that box. Excellent cash flow. You've got to be able to take the cash out of business, because if you have to keep buying inventory, months and months in advance and all that kind of stuff, then you can't take the money out to achieve your why and to run your life and that sort of thing. Low fixed costs. You can't have a high burn rate. You don't want anything hanging over your head. You want to be lean and mean. You don't want anything pressuring you or anything like that. And obviously that drives margins and profitability. Low customer count. Think about this. If you have to sell, 1 million widgets at $1 each to bring in $1 million and get 1 million customers because they're non-recurring, versus, 7 customers to bring in that same $1 million, which is better, right? It's obvious. It's easier to get customers when you don't need as many, and it's easier to keep them, when you can manage that group of customers really carefully. So low customer count is really important. So these 7 things are critical. And by the way, you're going to see some screenshots of like the traditional proof screenshots, of income from people and stuff. And people have asked me, like, well, if you haven't taught this, where are these coming from? Who are these people? So this is a business model that we're talking about here today that we have done since the beginning. Since the first day I left corporate America, I have done this. And it has been the only business model that has really stayed with me almost unchanged for that whole period of time. It's also the only business model that I think is for like 90% of the people who I know are successful, is the one common thread that all of these people are still doing in one form or another. And so it's a really important business model that we teach and coach with people in our like really small mastermind group that we've been running for 6 or 7 years, that we only can impact a very small number of people up until now, right? But that's where these things come from. This is one of our students and members, really they're members, not students so much, in our mastermind. He's brought in $180,000 in 1 year using this, okay? So you'll see that, spread out throughout this, and you'll see some more specific testimonials with some pictures of these people, just so you have an idea of what's possible, right? It's really important. Here's another one. This is recurring sales from one customer over the course of, I think it's like 13 months or so, bringing in every single month, over $15,000, okay? These are the types of customers that are fantastic. You can have a low customer count. You can have, high revenue, so you got high results in year one. You've got really high margins on this. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is why it's important. So here are the other things that you need to keep in mind. We talked about the 7, probably the most important ones, but you got to tick the boxes on all 14 in order to be able to say that we're going to knock it out of the park. It's got to be easy to sell. That's not necessarily because you want to sell. That just means a whole lot of things. It means you're building an asset. It means it's something that can be valued. You could borrow against it. You can give it, will it to your kids in the future. You can have partners buy into it. There's a million things you can do. It's really, really important. You want to have low competition. You want to have low, for obvious reasons, but you also want to have low startup costs. You don't want to have to buy 6 months worth of inventory. Predictable. This is huge. So almost any business model that you're going to look at, that you're going to evaluate, that you're going to think about doing, it is going to be something that someone else is doing already. And you want to be able to point to it and say, yes, okay, I see they're successful. I can easily see how I can take that success and I can replicate it. It's predictable. There's an assurance that I'm going to be successful. That is a really, really important element of what makes the Holy Grail of business models. And guys, what I want you to be doing, I want you to think back on that predictable one very specifically, okay? Because I'm going to call back out to that one in a few slides in the future. But throughout this whole thing, when I talk about what this ultimate business model is, I want you to be thinking about how amazingly it ticks every single box here, okay? Everything that we're talking about. And I think we can all agree that if you had a business model that just ticked every single box here, then you almost cannot avoid being successful. Okay? And again, I'm going to make the case that what we're suggesting today is that business model. Also, what we came up with is that it's not enough just to tick the boxes. It's not enough to just make sure that it meets every single criteria and hits every single metric, all right? Because we've come close before, but that's not enough. What we also require are two twists that I'm going to report to you here that just knock it out of the park and are the catalyst that take all of these other boxes that we've ticked and just make sure that you are absolutely successful. Look, I'm trying to explain and tell you the gravity of what's at stake here. Tell me that you're ready. Just type in ready. Tell me you're ready to hear this business model. All right, I got enough ready. I'm ready. Excellent. Here's the thing. I want to give you a warning first. It's not just about the business model. The business model is perfect. It ticks every single box on the Holy Grail metrics. But don't even think about evaluating how amazing this opportunity is until I get to the two twists. Very, very important. Here's the business model. It is providing simple web solutions and services to small businesses with two, not just one, but two very unique twists that are critical. They're like the secret sauce. They are the catalyst that makes sure that you absolutely just can't avoid being successful. And I am confident that you are going to agree with me when you see what they are, okay? But we're talking about providing simple web solutions and services to small businesses. So what do we mean by that? We're talking about just simple but critical things to these small businesses that makes them crazy valuable. Look, all of these small business owners, they are desperate for people to explain to them how the hell they're supposed to show up when people come into their town and type in pizza places near me and show up on, their iPhone or their Android phone and with a little button that says call, or they're desperate for, geez, I don't have a website. Believe it or not, many don't. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. Or their website is shit. I mean, complete shit. And so people come there and they're just like, I'm going to move on to the next person. Or they have no idea what to do with Facebook. Okay, they have no idea how to use it, what they should be putting on there. And who are we talking about with these businesses? We're talking about your local pizza guy. We're talking about your local landscaper, your local roofer, your local pool guy. All of these guys, they can't market nationally. They can't pull in business from internationally or even from 200 miles away. They have got to get their slice of the pie from their small local geographic targeted area, right, that they're settled in. So they've got to have – they all know that this internet thing's here to stay. They've got to have more web traffic, more customer, and more revenue, right? They want to pay. They understand. They get it, okay? All of them need customers and revenue, and they don't have the knowledge or the inclination to do it, themselves, and they're very happy to pay thousands of dollars to get these services done for them, right? So you start ticking off the boxes on the, we're going to get a small number of customers. They're going to pay a lot of money. The margins are really high. We're starting to see it, right? The competition is low, okay? You don't need it's a win-win. That's another thing. I mean, it's really key when you're doing, some sort of business model. If you can do something that's good, these guys are the lifeblood of the economy. They employ, and I don't remember the exact number, but it's somewhere around like 90% of the people that are employed by these small businesses all over the world. They are the lifeblood of the economy. So if you can help them while making money, while building your own business around it, it's a win-win. And this is something that I told you this is the first thing I did when I started online many, many years ago, okay? It is the first thing almost all successful online entrepreneurs have done. Not every single one of them, but damn near. And all of those guys, including us, still do it because it's the only thing that hasn't really changed that dramatically. It's not a fad. It's not a loophole. It's not something that comes and goes. People have been doing this forever. It is simple. It's stable. It's secure. It's lucrative. It is launched, and I have personally been involved in many people who have built these businesses that have provided for their families for almost a decade or in some cases more. It has been our bread and butter for us and for many of our folks. Here's I can do the slide. Here's Chad. So Chad's an example. Chad's a member of the mastermind. He made, in 2018, $187,000, a little bit more, 64% profit margin. 64% profit margin, okay? And Chad is going to grow this business, and you can check in with Chad 10 years from now. He's still going to be able to do this. He's still doing it. Here's Claudio. He's been doing it for, since 2009. He had a problem like many of us in the global financial crisis. He had to rebuild everything from scratch. Claudio is another member of our mastermind. He's also an ex-corporate guy, and he's on track to do over 400,000 in 2019, 29,000 in January. Okay, and he's been doing it since. This has been his sole way of providing for his family since 2009. And if you join us, I actually have an interview with Claudio because I think it's in our members area, because I think it's just that compelling of a story, because you need to see that things are predictable. You need to understand that it ticks off all these boxes. Here's another one. Rory in Ireland, member of our mastermind. 118,000 in 12 months in 1 year. Obviously, that's net profit because he had crazy margins, even higher than most people. 81%. 81%. All right. And what's really nice, and I think probably one of the reasons why this business model is so stable, is that you don't require Facebook to do the same thing with their advertising, or Amazon or Google or anything like that. Okay. Here's Chris, been a member of our mastermind since the beginning. We've been doing it for 6 or 7 years now. $40,000 this month. $40,000 this month. Great start for 2019. Chris is in Canada. Look, this is, let me explain it in just one slide what we're talking about here, okay? This is a business model that by itself, even without the couple twists that we're going to be talking about here, ticks every single box on the Holy Grail, okay? And, the way to think about it, all right, is to break it up into these 3 steps. The first is, obviously, you've got to have some process where these customers will come to you. You are not going to be out there walking the streets with your business card, showing up at small businesses unannounced, uninvited, and try to get them to talk to you. Now, some people might like that, but that's a pretty small number of people that actually enjoy doing that, okay? You can't be doing that. You can't be doing cold calls. You can't be doing any of that crap. That's not the way to build a business. That's not the way to have an automated process where you can do the things that you like and all that. That's not the way it works, okay? So you've got to have these processes that bring in these targeted leads. And let me tell you, these customers are desperate. The best way to show that example, whenever I go to a party or like a gathering of any kind, the minute people find out what I do, the business owners, or even just the people that know the business owners or they're in their families, it's like a moth to a flame, because they are all so desperate for this information. They are so underserved, okay? They are so confused by the marketplace that it's like these people, the best thing in marketing is if everybody has a problem that you can solve, right? Because then it's easy to sell, because people just beat a path to your door. And that is what we have here. So there are easy ways to get highly targeted leads that have money to spend, right, on this, okay, without doing a lot of work and without doing the things you don't want to do. And then there are easy strategies, easy because we've all been doing this for, more than a decade, to turn those leads right into customers. It's an incredibly high close rate. Maybe out of 100 people that come to an e-commerce site, maybe one of them buys something. When you're talking about something like this, it's 10 or 15%. Out of 100 people that come to your website or look at your materials, 10 or 15 of them can become customers. Okay? That's why it's so different. All right? And it's another, part of the Holy Grail. And then you've got to deliver the services. You've got to provide them the services and keep them paying, every single month. But I'm going to explain to you why you don't have to, meet people. You don't have to walk the streets. You don't have to call them. Many of the people that are implementing this business model, they have many customers they've never even met at all. Okay. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to, by the time I'm done and I talk to you about the twists, you'll see, okay? And you don't need any technical knowledge. That was another part of the Holy Grail, because we've got the true experts are going to be delivering these services on your behalf. I'll talk about it in a second. And you don't need the money. You need to start. You don't need startup capital, an internet connection, a computer, okay? It's sky-high conversions. I talked about 100 people, 10 or 15 will buy. That's not usually what happens. Usually, you get like 10 businesses you send an email to, you mention a couple key things, and 1 or 2 become customers. Okay, that was easy. Because remember, you only need 7 sales. 7 sales to get to $100,000 a year in profit. And then you scale it from there, okay? But here is twist number one. When you make a sale and you've got to deliver the services, we are going to be the ones who are going to be doing it for you. Our team of experts will do it for you. But please, do not make the mistake that, oh, well, that's outsourcing. Of course, the concept is the same. But when I get to the second twist, you will understand why this is oh so different than outsourcing, and oh so much better, and oh so much more powerful. So stand by for the second twist. But the first twist is, which again, if you think back on those 14 metrics, those 14 things that we look at for the perfect business model, technical expertise and that kind of thing was one of them. You know, not having it, is that going to be an impediment? Our team of experts are going to do the work for you. And in fact, you're going to see why everything is completely set up for you. Totally prepackaged, totally ready to go. Websites, the sales magnets I talked about, the lead generation process, and in fact, spoiler alert, even the leads themselves. And you're saying now, how is that even remotely possible? Why would you do that? It will become clear shortly. Okay? Everything will be there. Your personal ability, your technical knowledge is not relevant because of that, because of all those things, and because of this final twist. And you're not trading your time for dollars, okay, because you're not the one who has to deliver the services. That is really, really key, okay? Look, so far, here's what I hope I've made the case for. I hope I've made the case that this is the perfect business model. But we need more. We absolutely need more. But let's just talk real quickly about demand, because demand is pretty important, right? Because I know what you're probably saying. You're probably saying, well, okay, this internet thing has been around a while. So I'm sure that, all these small business owners, they've got their websites, they've got their online business sorted, they're all set. They don't need me. You couldn't be further from the truth. You couldn't be more wrong. 45% of the small businesses that run 90% of the economy in the United States don't have websites. 45%. And the rest, their websites suck for the most part. UK, 60% of small companies in the UK don't have a website. There's over 2 million small businesses in the UK that don't have a website. And guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? Because you can imagine if they don't have a website, they probably don't have a good handle on their Facebook presence or their reputation management or anything like that, right? Because they don't even have a damn website. But I can also tell you that those 45% of people that don't have a website, the 60% of companies in the UK that don't have all these people that aren't doing the right thing, if you ask them, is the internet important? They would probably say yes, right? Because people are not idiots, They just haven't had the help. They haven't had the time, the inclination, the technical knowledge. They're underserved. They're underserved, right? Customers, they know this. They know that 62% of people will ignore small businesses that don't have a website. They know it's important. These local businesses are screaming out for help. I cannot explain to you any more clearly than when I go to a party or gathering, they swarm me like moths to a flame. Help, help, help. What should I do about this? The customers, I have talked to many people who have done this, and the customers come to you, okay? Because they're so desperate, the conversion rates are sky high, meaning it's easy to get customers, okay? And the prices we charge are high, meaning, what does that mean? Well, it means that it's easy to get high revenue in year one, and it ticks that box. It scales, so it ticks that box. And, oh, by the way, the profit margins are super high. Ticks that box. If you're selling physical products on Amazon, not only is your conversion rate lower, maybe it's 3%, but your profit margin's lower. So, 100 people, you might make $30. You get 100 people in the top of your funnel for this service. You might get 10 clients, that spend $1,000 a month with you, and the profit margin is crazy high, 70%, maybe higher. The checks and maybe it's not so surprising now that people who don't have websites are sending checks. But who gives a shit if it's a check or a credit card payment? Doesn't matter. These are the people that drive the economy, and these are your customers. You've got the dry cleaner, you've got the gym, you've got the dentist, the doctor, the hair salon, right? The pool people, the constructions, the roofers, the limos, the landscaping. It goes on and on and on. It is practically limitless. Listen, I haven't asked for feedback a little bit. Can you see how this is the absolute perfect business model? Meeting every single point on the Holy Grail, even without the twist. Can you see? Just give me an agree. Okay, I got a lot of agree. Good. Again, I keep coming back to this, that, just hitting the boxes. Profit margins high, small group of customers, rapid ongoing results, competition low, easy to sell, respectable business. These are every single box that's being ticked. Every box. All right. So if you can tick all the boxes on the Holy Grail, you're going to get rid of all those damn obstacles. You've seen this business model. You've seen the demands. If what I'm saying is true, and I think it's pretty easy to make the case, right? If what I'm saying is true, then you understand why I'm so excited and anxious and feel this responsibility, because not only is this business model so critical for me to explain to you and for you to get it, right, that it ticks all those boxes, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Here's the sad fact. The sad fact is, again, our passion is making the biggest impact to the most amount of people, meaning getting you to build your online businesses. And there's only so much that we can do in a webinar. We try. I personally, Art, I would say, I hope this is true. If you hung up right now, okay, that I've introduced you to metrics to measure a business opportunity, and I've introduced you to what I think is the business opportunity that you should be doing. Okay, so hopefully, if you hung up now, I'd still have an impact in your life. But it's not enough. It's not good enough, right? And so what have we done? We had a couple choices this year. We could do the same thing we've always done, which is we put together a kick-ass training program with lots of resources, lots of support, and we spend a year with people. We only do this once a year. We spend a year with people. We train them. We teach them. We help them. We coach them. We do everything that we possibly can, to change their lives. And we have huge impact, as Aiden was saying, huge. But we want more. And so we said, what can we do? What can we do, to do even more than that this year? And we've come up with this last twist that is the thing that will make sure that you're successful. And that's why I am so proud, so excited to introduce Parallel Profits to you. So yes, we're going to nail the training. Yes, we're going to nail the support and the resources. We're going to teach you. You will be an expert in short order on how to build this business model. Absolutely. We'll do it all. Totally. But we're going to do more than that. Partner with us. Now that sounds like a fairly ambiguous term, right? But we mean something very special, very specific, and something you have absolutely never seen before. And this is it, and this is why it's critical. We are offering a no-shit, legal, real, formal franchise. Why is that important? Because it just knocks the shit out of the Holy Grail metrics. Why? Because of this. Success rates for franchises are greater than 90%. Now, we can talk about why that is. There are a lot of reasons. You'll probably figure it out as we go down the path here. But who gives a shit why? If it's true, and it is true, only 20% of individual startups are still in operation after 7 years, but franchise businesses, 91% after 7 years. Success rates are greater than 90%. More than 9 out of every 10 of you who takes action, becomes our franchise owner, will be successful. Holy shit. We figured that all out. But then we realized, wow, okay, what do we need to do that? It is a for real big-ass job, and it costs a ton of money. And we've been doing it for the last year because there are a million legal things to jump through, and especially, good grief, to offer it in other countries as we're able to do. But a franchise is, if you don't know what it is you take an existing, specific, actual, real business that you have to disclose everything about for your protection, wrap it all up with a bow, every single tiny little secret, and give it to the franchise owner as their new business. McDonald's is the best example, okay? You buy into a McDonald's business, it's $1 million. You negotiate a territory with McDonald's. You say, oh, well, I want to open one here. They say, well, maybe a block over, that works better, You get your territory. They give you kick-ass training. You go to Hamburger College. I kid you not. That's what it's called. You go to Hamburger College. It's actually here in Chicago. You go to Hamburger College. You become an expert on how to run a McDonald's. And then they give you everything. They give you all the signs, the cash registers, the wrappers, the burgers, the nuggets, the Coca-Cola, everything, the straws, everything. They teach you how to market. They teach you how to get the customers in the door. They teach you how to keep the customers. They teach you how to price it. They teach you how to serve it. They teach you everything, and they give it all to you. And you open your business, and guess what? More than 90%, more than 9 out of every 10 of these McDonald's people are successful. Right? Can somebody just say, did I get it? Did I type in franchise if you get it? Like that you understand why this is so, I almost cursed again, freaking powerful. Okay, yeah. Yeah, people are saying franchise. Yeah, it is really expensive to build a franchise. We have spent a lot of money. But it is a no-kidding, real live franchise. I mean, we're talking, legal documents. We're talking legal disclosures. We're talking we have to get approval by the United States, by I think it's 35 different states in the U.S., by the European Union, Australia, Canada. I mean, it is for real shit here, okay? We're going to and so if you become a member of Apparel Profits, this is how it works. You're going to go to Hamburger College. You're going to be we're going to fast track you to become an expert status in this business model, and then you are going to become a franchise owner. And then more than 9 out of every 10 of you are going to be a successful business owner. More than 9 out of every 10 of you, because we will literally hand you everything you need, everything. Everything's ready to go. Everything's set up on a silver platter. You don't even need a damn domain name. You're going to tell us your territory. We have more conversations about territory. It's a little complicated. We're going to talk about it here. But you basically say, look, this is where I want to build my business. We are going to give you all the website, the business cards, the tear sheets, the brochures, the presentation. I mean, everything. We're going to give you leads, funnels, everything automated. And just like when somebody comes in to buy a burger, the burgers come from McDonald's. We will take care of it, but we're actually going to cook it for you too. So we're going to take care of the delivery of the services. We've got a team of people ready to deliver these. They've been doing hours, our students, training for this. We've invested so much. So it's completely hands-off, and you need zero expertise, right? You get a customer. You sell a customer to the service. And, oh, by the way, when you're a McDonald's owner, who gets the money for the Happy Meal? The McDonald's owner. And it's going to work exactly the same way. They buy the raw materials, they buy the burgers and the nuggets from McDonald's, the franchise company, the headquarters. But you'll get a customer, you'll sell a service to the customer, you'll charge them $1,000, and you'll pay us about $300-ish to do it for you. We'll do it. We'll pass it back to you. You pass it back to the customer. You save that $700. You pocket that profit. That's how it's going to work. Now, you have complete control over pricing and all that. So, it's, you could be higher, lower a little bit, but it directionally, that's how it works. And look, we're in this together. The reason that a franchise, McDonald's is like a $10 billion company, okay? And one of their franchises might bring in $1 million, maybe two. But the $10 billion company cares deeply about the $1 million or $2 million franchise owner because they're all in it together. If they have shitty hamburgers, it's never going to work, right? We've got great quality. We've been doing this a really long time. We are in this together. And the fact is that franchises are expensive. McDonald's franchise is like $1 million. Subway franchise is like $110,000. And we think this franchise is worth. Well, I think it's worth a lot more than this. I think it's worth about 10 times more than this. But we think on the open market, because we're new, you're getting in the ground floor here, we would probably sell franchises for $7,500. But you're going to see how you guys are actually going to be able to, quote unquote, buy into a franchise for $0. I know it sounds crazy, but it really does work if you really think about what a franchise is. We are all in this together. We are partnering. The more money you make, the more money I make. That is what everybody's been clamoring for, and that is why these franchises have such a high success rate, because everybody is on the same page and working together. This will be your own business. These McDonald's can be sold. They can be left to other people. They're assets. You can loan against them. These are real companies, separate companies. They are just a franchise of our larger company. Okay. Now, look, you can go it alone if you want. We are able to offer franchises right now anyway, and Aidan will talk about this, but in the U.S., the U.K., Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. But you know what? If we get enough people in France, we'll do the work and spend the money and the legal, go through the legal hoops to do it in France. We will. Why not? Why wouldn't we? Right? So, but you can go it alone if you want, because, as I said, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to build kick-ass training, resources, tools, support, coaching for this business model, just in general. So if you're in Singapore and we don't have a franchise company there yet, we'll teach you how to do this. But for the people who are in those countries that we can offer a franchise, you better tell me a really good reason why you wouldn't want to become a franchise. Because I'll tell you this, 9.5 out of every McDonald's succeeds, but 2 out of every 10 of Steve's hamburger stand only succeeds, right? Which do you want to be? You want to be the freaking McDonald's, okay? That's why this is so amazing. You're going to eliminate the guesswork and cut it down. Sorry, go ahead. I got excited.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, guys, give us some feedback in the question box if this is all making sense to you so far. Give me a 1 if this is fairly crystal clear at this point and you understand the business model, because that's what Steve's really been aiming to do here, to give you an overview of the business model. And, of course, you've got lots of questions. And that's why in just a second here I'm going to talk about the specifics of what you get when you come in. Before I do that, though, I want you to think about what this can do for you. It can absolutely eliminate money problems forever, okay? And it can do it in a pretty darn short time frame as well, because we're talking about going from 0 to potentially thousands, in a matter of days. Because once you've got the training, once you're ready to go, then, how long does it take to get your first sale? You could go out, you could do it in days, not weeks, not months. Unlimited family time, a secure retirement. How much money do you really need for retirement? If you're retired or getting ready for retirement, how much money do you want per month? $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 per month? That would give you a pretty decent retirement passive income coming in. Be your own boss, work from home. Maybe you want to allow your wife or your husband to be able to quit their day job. Maybe you want to give your kids the opportunities that you never have, or maybe you want to give your kids the opportunity to have a business that they can step into, which you're setting up for them right now. That's the kind of thing that you can do with this. But the bottom line is this: it gives you financial freedom, it gives you location freedom, and it gives you time freedom. So what I want to do right now is go through each of the modules, and so pay close attention to this part because it's really, really important. The first module, the first component is the Master Blueprint. This is the core start to finish training. It's designed to fast track you to expert level. It's the A to Z guide for each part of the system, and we're going to show you how to set everything up in record time. You'll get covert sales training, inner circle marketing secrets. You'll find out how to get hyper-organized for things like your finances, your workflow, all these business activities that, some people skim over. We're going to go deep dive into them to show you how to really set this up so it's working for you. We'll have weekly workshops. We'll have videos and manuals, and we'll be there with you every step of the way with the training. We've also got component number 2, which is the Lead Accelerator. Now, the Lead Accelerator is really important because acquiring leads is a critical part of the business. A lead is what ultimately turns into a sale. So we will give you batches of targeted leads. All of our lead capture strategies and systems will also be given to you. We've got 5 proven email funnels, which we'll give to you as well, and a Rolodex of ninja tools and services that we use. Okay, and there's a really cool analysis embed tool as well, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. So you get this as something that you can use to embed on your website, and you'll get more leads just coming straight to you. So component number 2 is the Lead Accelerator. Component number 3 is the Engagement Engine. And this is the suite of automated engagement tools. There's an audit tool in there. There's a customer communication tool so that you've got hands-off communication with your customers, done for you email sequences so that you can automate all of this. And these things are just the tip of the iceberg. The point is you can be sitting in Fiji in the middle of the Pacific and running your business without needing to be face-to-face with any of your sales or your customers, because you can run everything through the Engagement Engine. And there's another thing which will help you with that remote working, which I'll speak about in just a second. Component number 4 is the Instant Asset Machine. This is your professional portfolio of highly credible marketing tools. So it's a website done for you. It's brochures and business cards and mail shots done for you if you want to use these things. Now remember, we've got different strategies for different personality types. So like I say, if you want to be the guy that's sitting on the beach running your business remotely, then you can do it. You don't have to do any of these things. And furthermore, if you are sitting on that island on the beach and you still want to do a mailing of brochures, then we can still show you how to do it without actually having to, go and do anything. You can do this all remotely thanks to the different things that we've got built into the Instant Asset Machine. And we're going to provide all of these things for you, as well as your very own fully functional landing page. Now, the Delivery Hub, this is really where it gets really exciting, because how are you going to deliver these services? Now, Steve explained that you sell a service, you get paid, and then all of a sudden you've got some work to do, right? Once you've got that work to do, maybe it's building a website for the local plumber. You submit that work to the Delivery Hub. Our team will automatically pick up that work, do it for you, give you progress updates, and then eventually it'll be finished and you'll be able to pass it on to the end customer. But the point is, we will do it all for you. And not just that, but the entire billing system. So you might be asking yourself, okay, well, how am I going to get paid? You don't have to worry about it because it's all integrated in here. There's no need for PayPal, there's no need for Stripe or anything like that. The value here is massive, and we're going to be adding more and more things to the Delivery Hub over time. We've got a private community where we're going to be in there every day. It's another support avenue. It's another way that you can connect with the other people that come into this business. So we think this is a really, really important part of the package, and you'll have access to the community. Specialist support as well. So email-based support, man, 24/7, 365 days a year. We've got an amazing team who provide really rapid responses, and our team understand the system, okay? And we'll be there for you every step of the way. And look, there's even supplementary levels of coaching which you'll be able to access once you start developing different parts of your business. So further down the line a little bit, a few months from now, maybe you'll be doing $20,000 a month, and you'll jump on a one-on-one voice call with one of our team or with Steve or with I. So there's different levels of coaching that you'll be privileged, to get access to as we progress here. Because again, we're in this to win, and we win when you win. So that's why we're all chasing the same goals here, and I think that's one of the things that makes this so powerful. So here's a full recap. Steve said, the franchise opportunity would be valued at $7,500 if we were to take this to market in a traditional way. And, something that, just to compare apples with apples, if you wanted to buy a digital agency franchise, it would actually cost you $45,000 because that's how much, there is a digital agency franchise which you can buy for $45,000. And I'll tell you what, we've got some tricks up our sleeve to make this so much more valuable than in any other franchise opportunity out there. The master blueprint, the lead accelerator, the engagement engine, the instant asset machine, the delivery hub, we spoke about that, the community, and the specialist support. If you add all of those things up, the value that you get there is over $28,000. And these components could be sold off individually. Like we could just sell the training, the master blueprint, for $2,997. We could just sell access to the delivery hub for $1,497. And a lot of people would buy it because they're genuinely worth that. But let's not lose track of the aim here. The aim is for you to hit $100,000 in profit, a run rate of $100,000 in profit from just 7 customers, and then keep scaling that from $100,000 to $300,000 and beyond. Now, a $1 million per year profit business, that is what's at stake here. And to get there with this model, you just need 65 sales. 65 sales could put you at a run rate of $1 million per year profit. Now, obviously, the value of the sales may fluctuate a little bit, but this is the kind of thing that you can do here. And maybe it wouldn't take 65, maybe it takes 75 sales. But I think you get the picture. And if you imagine the kind of profit that you could get comparing this to another opportunity, like 65 sales of an Amazon product, physical product, maybe you get $650 profit, or maybe selling 65 affiliate products and you're making $20 commission each time. You might get $1,200. We're talking about 65 sales here earning hundreds of thousands or even $1 million in profit. You just can't get this from any other business, not online, not offline. This is the only way that I know of anyway that you can get this kind of thing. So can you see the benefits here? Give me a yes in the question box if you're excited about this, if you can see the benefits. You'll be selling oh man, awesome. So many people are typing yes in the chat box. Thanks for that. You'll be selling a high quality product and service. There is huge demand. Almost every local business is desperate for these types of services, okay? You have a clear path to customers with our lead generation systems and done-for-you sales funnels. The business model has true longevity. This isn't a fad. This isn't a flash in the pan. This is here to stay. And we're talking about getting recurring income month after month after month by gathering repeat buyers who are paying you automatically for months and years to come. We've got one customer. It's a limousine company, and they've been paying us for like 8 years, every single month. That's the kind of thing that you can do here. Now, I've got some really important information for you right now, so please, please, please pay attention to the next couple of slides. Firstly, some people just, for now at least, cannot be franchisees. Initially, because of all the legal work involved, we can only offer the franchise opportunity for people in the United States, in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, and in New Zealand. Now, if you're not in one of those 5 areas, do not panic, okay? You can still do this. You will need to start off with your own brand name, your own domain name, but that's fine. We're going to still give you everything you need, support you every step of the way, and furthermore, we do have expansion plans in place, and if we have enough people join us from, let's say, France or Switzerland or Germany or wherever it may be, then we'll just create a franchise company in that country. No big deal, okay? But right now, these are the 5 areas where we can accept franchisees. And guys, this is not something that you can just, whip up overnight. This is a real deal legal business here, which is why I hope you understand that to start with, it's these 5 areas. But look, we will be most likely expanding in the future, and you can still get in and join us anyway. So the next question you might be asking is, well, what is your territory? Now, your territory is centered around the zip code or the postal code where you live, okay? It's easier to begin making sales in your own local area, and we know this from experience. this is the fastest way to hit the initial goal of $100,000 profit. You may be able to expand to additional territories later, but to hit $100,000 profit per year run rate, one territory is the location where you live. It'll be more than sufficient. Now, your territory is not your zip code. Your territory is not your postal code. It could be multiple postal codes or multiple zip codes, or it could just be a fraction of one zip code. What it depends on is business density, okay? So you might be thinking, well, where I live, I can't do this because I live in a small town, in a rural area. There's not enough businesses here. You're not at a disadvantage because, again, your territory is not your zip code. It can be surrounding areas as well. Sometimes it's multiple zip codes. Sometimes it's multiple towns and cities. Territories are based on business density, not on population. That's another key point. And we are going to do everything we can to make sure that your territory has got enough businesses in it because, again, we need you to thrive with this business. That's how we are going to thrive as well. Now, you might be at the other end of the spectrum. Maybe you live in a big city and you say, well, look, Aidan, where I live, I can't do this because it's a big city. Competition is going to be too tough. And I'll tell you, it's just not true. We've never had any issues related to competition in any densely populated areas, the likes of Manhattan, London, Chicago, and other heavily built up areas. Okay, so just don't worry about this. Some perspective. This was the first thing Steve did when he quit his job in 2003. Okay, we have 15 years of experience with this. You're going to be able to tap into all of that. And that's something like 32,000 hours worth of experience, which is just enormous, and you get it all. Okay, we've invested over $1 million in building this business to where it is today, and over $1 million more in the myriad of marketing campaigns and resources that you're going to have access to. Over $100,000 in legal fees to make this available to you. We've spent hundreds of thousands to build up a full-time team so that we can offer this to you. Some more perspective for you. You can invest $1 million to buy a McDonald's franchise. And by the way, it's not just $1 million. That's what it's going to cost you to buy it, but you're also going to have $1 million in liquid assets just lying around. And then they might not even accept you. And if you do manage to jump through all those hoops, the average profit that a McDonald's restaurant in the United States makes is $157,000 per year. So that's what you could get after you've invested $1 million and, got more liquid assets lying around. Or Subway franchise, a bit more accessible, $110,000, still a lot of money to put down up front, and there's still a lot of hoops to jump through. And after you've done all that, it might make you $50,000 profit per year. That's about the average of a Subway franchise. So I hope that you can see that what we're doing here gives you far bigger upside than these options. And I want you to know that this is heavily vetted. This is the most heavily vetted, scrutinized, regulated business that we have ever shared with anyone. A franchise is not like a training program. I can't just wake up in the morning and decide, hey, Steve, let's go and sell a franchise. No, it's just not like that. There's so many things that we have to jump through to be able to do this. And this is all good news for you, right? Because that means it's the real deal. Now, guys, this is extremely limited. If your territory is snapped up by someone else, then that means you've missed out. So it's not just like we can say, okay, we're limiting this to 500 people and then that's it. We could have, we could have one person jump in your territory, and that might mean that you've missed out, even if we haven't hit the limit of the number of students that we can take. We can only support so many franchisees. Our team and our infrastructure is limited. Our personal time is being invested to support you as well. And while we have some amazing coaches who can help, our time and our coaches' time is also limited. And we will shut down when we hit capacity, just like we always do. We've not reopened any of our last 6 training programs. When the doors close, they are closed. We only do this kind of thing once a year. And this is, I think, the most amazing and special one that we have ever done. Now, we start on Friday. So what's the required investment is what you're probably thinking right now. $110,000. You could pay $110,000 to buy yourself a Subway franchise, and you'd be lucky to make $50,000 per year. And, oh, by the way, you just bought yourself a job. You have to be in there making sandwiches every day. And if you don't do that, then your profits are going to be slashed. So I think you'll agree that in the real world, we could charge $110,000 for this quite easily. And even if it wasn't $110,000, other digital marketing agency franchises sell for $45,000. So there's a real example, apples with apples. You could say that in the real world, $45,000 would be justified for this. But we can do even better, $12,000. You see, for the past 5 years, we've offered access to this kind of partnership opportunity and unique insider information at a price tag of $12,000 per year. We've partnered with many of the people who have had that access and helped them build 6- and 7-figure businesses. So therefore, it makes sense to offer Parallel Profits to you for a one-time investment of $12,000. And if all this does is get you to the point where you've got 4 customers, if you have 4 customers, that could be $4,800 profit of side income each month, month after month after month after month. Would that be worth paying $12,000 for? I mean, you'd get your investment back in 3 months once you're up and running. But we can do even better. $2,497. Look, the reality is this, guys. We stand to benefit here by having more successful franchisees partner with us because as the franchisor, when you succeed, we succeed. So we want to lower the barrier to entry even more, which is why we're making Parallel Profits available for a one-time investment of $2,497. And we've got a payment plan in place as well for those of you that need it to help you out. We've got a 3-part payment plan of $997. You'll pay the first one today, the next installment in 30 days, and the final payment of $997 30 days later. The link is on the screen there. Steve, if you could go ahead and put that in the chat box so that everyone can see it, that would be fantastic. You can go to that link, parallelprofits.com/start, enter your zip code, your postcode to check to see if your territory is available, okay? Reserve your territory, make your investment, get started. We are 100% committed to your success. After all, our success is directly tied to your success. So we need you to succeed for our own selfish reasons. Now, really, really important here. When you go to the checkout page using the link that you can see right there, okay, parallelprofits.com/start, you will see a form at the top of the page that looks like this. And it's probably a little bit different to what you've seen in the past if you've ever been on any of our workshops. The first thing to note is that it will say, do you want to partner with us? And if you're in one of those 5 countries, USA, UK, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, and you want to join the franchise opportunity, then just click yes. Okay, and then you'll select your country from the drop-down box, enter your zip code or your postcode, and reserve your territory if it's still available. If it's already been snapped up, then I'm sorry, that just means that you've missed out. So do me a favor, guys, and open that page up and just check that it's working, check that your zip code is actually still available. And look, if you're outside of one of those 5 countries, you can still jump in, okay? You won't be partnering with us from the outset. That's absolutely fine, though, because we're still going to guide you on how to do this. We're still going to give you all of the resources and the training that you need to be able to get this up and running, okay? So that's how you go in and that's how you sign up. And if you've already jumped in, let us know, okay? Now, you have 2 decisions here. The first is to do nothing, and that's easy. Anyone can do that. Don't take the leap of faith. Don't invest in Parallel Profits. Settle for what you've got now and get what you've always got. But ask yourself, how's that been working out for you? Are you really happy with what you've got right now? Most people that I know always want to get ahead in life. Are you willing to settle for what you've got? Your second choice is to pony up this little investment. And yes, I said little investment because that's what it is when you compare it to all the value that you're getting in return here. So just give this a shot. If it works out, you keep it. If not, we'll give you your money back. Either way, you've invested in yourself. You've made a real lifestyle change a priority. And I've only ever seen people better off as a result of that. So do nothing and you get nothing. Or get started by going to the URL that you can see right there, right now, and get on a better path, and you can make your dreams come true. We've got a 100% money-back guarantee on this as well, so you are 100% protected here. And look, I don't mind if you change your mind in 59 minutes or in 59 days from now. It's fine, okay? But you need to get in because otherwise you stand to miss out. So we are 100% tied to your success. Again, it's in our best interest to make sure that you succeed. And Steve, just want to check, have you put that link in the question box there?
I did, yep.
Just want to Yep. Okay, good. So guys, what I want you to do right now is I want you to go to that page, open it up, make sure it works. And you know what? I'm asking you to make a fully informed decision. I'm not asking you for a yes or a no today. I'm asking you to make a fully informed decision. That is all. The only way that you can make a fully informed decision is on the inside, not on the outside. You need to get on the inside and see if everything we say on this webinar is true and valuable to you. Then, if it is, that's when you can decide to keep it. If it's not for you, no hard feelings. After you've signed up using this link, you'll be able to make that fully informed decision, but you can't do that right now. Okay, for the same reason that you can't, buy a house without first having a look on the inside of it. So know this, and I mentioned it a minute ago, whether it's 59 minutes from now or 59 days from now. If you're not happy for any reason, if you just change your mind, maybe your life circumstances change, you can contact our support desk. We will give you an immediate refund, no hard feelings, no questions asked. You've got nothing to lose, but you need to give yourself a chance to make an informed decision. So don't wait any longer. If you're going to go, and if you're in process of jumping in right now, type process in the chat box. Just type process in the chat box so I know that you are jumping in, okay? Okay, lots of people typing in process, and let me know once it's done, okay? Because I want to know when you got in, and the other reason that we're using this is because we can validate when you got in, and we can see on the back end, but it's nice to know whether you're in or not, because we do have those zip codes which are very, very limited, obviously, with the territories. So if someone else jumps in your territory, then, as it says here, it's too late. So don't wait any longer to sign up. The territories are filling up fast, and they're only available on a first-come, first-served basis. We are very limited in the number of people that we can help, so you need to move fast or you will miss out. The registration period is ending soon. If you visit the URL and see that it says sold out, then I'm sorry, but you've missed it. If you see that it says your territory is gone, then I'm sorry, but you've missed it, okay? By waiting just one more day to register or even one more hour, you risk letting someone else snap up your territory. You also risk letting a technical issue, life, or anything else get in the way. Once the registration period ends, that's it. 0 extra people will be allowed in. That's it. Now, a year ago, we opened up a program, and we only do this once a year, and we shut it down, and we had people begging us to let them in. But that was it, because we reach our capacity, we start the training. Actually, we're starting on Friday. So here's what you need to do. Go to that URL right now, sign up, log into the members area. You'll get an email with your credentials, and get started on the pre-class materials. And guys, if you thought that this was valuable so far, I'm about to sweeten the deal a little bit more for you, because we've got some exclusive bonuses. The first is a secret mastermind. Now, the secret mastermind sessions will be a series of 3 live workshops that we will be running after the main training has been completed. These special one-off workshops will focus on a host of power-packed tactics, formulas, and strategies that will boost the sales and profits of your business in its early stages. Now, just to be 100% upfront with you, we may require you to sign a non-disclosure agreement for this, because we will be talking about some things that we have never spoken about before, and also, as we do in the training, revealing some real inside secrets of our business, okay? And guys, stick around till the end, because we have got some cash to give away, $2,500 we're going to be giving away shortly, okay? But first of all, you need to get into the training. So bonus number 1 is the secret mastermind sessions. Bonus number 2 is Parallel Profits Live. You will get an all-access admission to Parallel Profits Live, a private, live-streamed 2-day event which will reveal a further series of inner circle secrets that will show you how to take your business to the next level. We will have guest speakers, student case studies, special trainings, Q&A sessions, and much, much more. This is going to be an absolute blast. You'll be able to tune in from the comfort of your own home. And the third bonus, as if all of this wasn't enough, you're getting the 7-figure scaling secrets. So this is the final bonus, and it's an exclusive video series that we're putting together on scaling, specifically on how to take your business from $100,000 per year to $300,000 to $1 million and beyond. So scaling a business and managing its expansion effectively can be challenging, and this video series is going to show you exactly how you can do it. So here's the full breakdown now, guys. The exclusive franchise opportunity, the master blueprint, the lead accelerator, the engagement engine, the instant asset machine, the delivery hub, the private community, the specialist support, the secret mastermind sessions, Parallel Profits Live, the 7-figure scaling secrets. You get everything today, and you can jump in right now with zero risk by going to that link that you can see on the screen there. We've put that in the chat box already, okay? So don't delay. Jump in right now. Actually, probably a pretty good time for us to take a few questions, Steve. So if you've seen some that you think that we should take, maybe you could just dive in, and I'll look for some more here.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the common ones are, well, I don't understand how you make money. And it's very simple. It's exactly the same way that McDonald's makes money. The franchise company itself, the $10 billion company that's headquartered right here in Chicago. So when you go in to buy a McDonald's hamburger, you buy a hamburger for $5 or whatever it is, and you pay the franchise owner the $5 for the hamburger. And they take your money and they give you the hamburger. But what happens behind the scene is that franchise owner has purchased the hamburger from McDonald's for $1 or whatever it is. Now, they had to actually cook it and give it to you, and then so for whatever that cost, maybe that cost them another $1. And so then they keep $3 out of the $5 you gave them. That's exactly the same way it works with us. You're going to collect $1,000 to design a website or whatever it is, and you are going to collect that from your customer, and you're going to use, just like you use the McDonald's cash registers and the McDonald's software, you're going to use our franchise software and accounting system and all that kind of stuff, but the money goes to you, goes right to you, whether you collect it in check or electronically or credit card, whatever it is. And you're going to buy the hamburger, the services in this case, from us, and maybe you'll buy those services for $300. But not only will you buy the services, we'll actually cook it for you, and we'll give you the cooked hamburger back, and you'll give that to your customer, and you will keep the $700. So that's kind of how it works and how we make money. There was some confusion about why I said that the franchise fee is $0. Well, and I understand why you're confused, so let me explain. We have not offered, Aiden talked about getting in on the ground floor, like being the first investor in Apple. And the reason he made that analogy is because we have not offered franchises in this company at all yet. It's a new company. It's a new franchise company. The company that's, the hamburger stand that it's based on has been around for a decade or more. But it's like, when they offered the first McDonald's franchises. We're not offering it to the public. What we're doing is we are selling a course, as we do each year, of valuable information on how to become an expert in this business model, and how to do all of it and learn all of it, and all the stuff that we normally do, all the resources, the coaching, the helping, the everything. And then what we were doing is we were giving you, as part of the membership of this information product, we're giving you a coupon that is good for the cost of the franchise fee, whatever that franchise fee might be. Because actually $7,500 is way too low. It should be more like about $40,000 at least. But it'll be $0 for you. Now maybe 2 years from now we'll start selling actual franchises without a course or something, or we'll sell them in different ways, or we'll become hell. I wouldn't be surprised if, and this is our goal, we want to become the fastest growing franchise for 2019. If that's the case, we'll probably have people knocking on our door wanting to buy more franchises, and we will charge them $40,000 or more, or whatever we decide makes sense, right? But you getting in on the ground floor, not only do you get a great opportunity, not only do you get to reserve your territory, not only do you carve out your niche, but you get it for $0. Okay. Dan, I've had a couple different questions about this kind of thing. Does this mean that we are not allowed to sell to a business outside of our territory? Look, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have, even the most successful franchise company like this, it's not a billion people to deal with. It's a small group of dedicated people running franchise companies, okay? And so we're going to be able to talk and understand, this guy is a referral that you got, happens to be outside of your territory. No worries. And when you need that sort of flexibility from someone else, you're going to get it. That's our role. So don't worry at all about that. All those little things, I've had people going, well, I'm here now, but I'm moving here. No worries. Don't worry. That's something that we will be able to negotiate and work out once we know that you're serious, you're in, you're part of the team. We have lots of legal things we have to get through and contracts and stuff because it all protects you. I want to impress upon you. This is real stuff. It's like a McDonald's franchise. It's real stuff. So, but that's a good thing, right? Because it protects you. And so we'll be working with you on a much, much closer basis than we ever have because we are incented to be successful or to have you be super successful because it makes us more money. So,
hey, Steve, we've had a bunch of people just asking about how much time needs to be invested, what ongoing, if there's any ongoing costs that need to be invested or laid out up front. So maybe take the time and sort of if there are any ongoing costs question, and then I can give a bit of a roadmap.
Sure. So, ongoing costs, they're really, I'm trying to think of, usually we say hosting and a domain or something like that, or we say advertising, maybe ads, but there isn't any for this model. You'll have to buy some business cards. Now, you won't have to design them. We'll do that for you, but that might cost you $10, maybe less. Maybe a couple brochures. Maybe that'll be, $40. That's about all we're talking about here. We're not talking about doing any paid advertising or anything. We just don't need to do that. You can at a later date do stuff like that, depending on how fast you want to scale. I'm not sure if I don't think I missed anything there.
I think you pretty much got it. A lot of people were asking about what about Facebook ads, paid advertising. Obviously, there's no inventory as such like with physical product models. So I think a lot of people come from that background. There's really not with this, guys. And the other beauty about not worrying about Facebook or anything like that is you can never be held hostage because you're in control of your own destiny. It's not like Facebook can ban your account or Amazon can shut you down. It's just not like that with this model. The other one we had was time requirements, and what we always sort of tell people for this one is, if you've got 4 or 5 hours a week that you can invest, then you're going to have enough to get started. That's really the bottom line here, and that's what most people tend to worry about. So, and if you've got more, then you can just turbocharge things even more. But if you're really pushed for time, then you can make this work without that much time. I mentioned a roadmap, and we sketched this out to try to sort of show you how we are going to progress here. And don't hold us to this exactly because things will inevitably change. But this is kind of what we got in mind. So right now we are at week 0, day 0, okay? And the key thing for you to do right now is to secure your access. And on Friday, we're going to get started with the training. So in that training, we're going to give you a deeper dive into the business. We're going to talk about the business plan and just getting things set up. And we'll progress from there by talking more about the franchise, how all that's going to work, and then eventually into the second part of getting the business set up and into the execution plan we're going to be using for marketing and talking about sales magnets. And if you don't know what these things are, don't worry. But the point is we're going to kind of let you choose your own path a little bit here. So if you're someone that never wants to pick up the phone and talk to anyone, then that's fine. We've got strategies that you can use. If you're someone that actually likes getting out there and having, phone conversations or even extreme example, face-to-face conversations, then we've got strategies that'll work for you as well. And we'll get into those around about week 3. And in week 4, it's all about securing customers and making money. Now, this is not get rich overnight, okay? We need to lay the foundation over the first few weeks. And hopefully you appreciate that this is unlike any sort of opportunity that you've probably seen before, but we do need a couple of weeks to lay the foundation, and I think it's fair that you should expect to be starting to be able to make sales a few weeks in. You'll be securing customers, making dollars, and then week 5 and 6 and 7 and onwards, it's about business operations, service delivery, how do you handle billing, customer reporting, ongoing accounting, long-term growth, customer retention, and all of these other things. And look, the real beauty here is that you can earn while you learn. So you can make your first sale without even knowing anything about customer reporting, without even knowing anything about customer retention. That's one of the big upsides of this model. So again, that's just a rough sort of a roadmap to give you an idea here. And again, this is a serious opportunity, guys. If you're looking to come in and start making money this week, then go and look for something else, because we're not looking to work with people like that. We're looking to work with people who are willing to spend a couple of weeks laying the foundation, getting set up, and then hit the ground running with just full speed and start building this quickly. Okay, so that's kind of what we've got in mind there. Here's another one of our students. This is Adrian. This is what he says. When my freelance video production business took a nosedive a few years ago, I turned to Steve and Aiden's system. This gave me immediate repeat income. Let me repeat that. Immediate repeat income, which allowed me to support my family during that time. While I went back to pursuing my passion of filmmaking, I still do this as a side gig because it's too good to give up. It really is too good to give up, because when you're earning, when you make $1,000 in a sale and you get to keep 800 of it, it's just amazing. And that starts to add up pretty darn quickly. Here's $25,900 from one sale. Now, this is one sale that we made. The contract was for a web design and some, we call it a visibility campaign. So part of that was doing search engine optimization. Of course, we don't do any of this work ourselves. We've got our team, which have got all the training, that they do it for us. But this guy paid us, and this is only the first check here, $3,200 in this check. And the total contract is for $25,900. Now, this is not an outlier, okay? This is the kind of thing that you can expect to get, and you'll get this kind of thing from time to time. I mentioned a while ago that we've got a limo company that's been paying us for the last 8 years. And it might just be $1,000 a month, but multiply that by 8 years, and the number gets pretty big pretty fast. And here's the $4,050 check we got on the 23rd of this month, so just a few days ago. It's pretty amazing, and hopefully you can see how passionate we are about this. If you're waiting to jump in, guys, I would just urge you to jump in. We're going to be wrapping this up pretty shortly here, but jump in right now. Let me know. If you're still in the process of jumping in, then please just jump in right now, and then let me know once you're in, because I want to make sure that you're in before we shut this down here. You can see another one of our students, Chad, $187,000 in his business in 2018. Claudio and his family there, $29,000 this month. He's on track to do over $400,000 this year. If you want to compare this to other business models out there, then here's a chart which I think might help. And look, Steve and I are pretty qualified to be able to put this kind of a chart together, because we're involved in all of these businesses. We've got them all in our portfolio that we've been building over the past 15 years or so. And we do pretty well. In fact, well over $1 million in almost all of these. So, we're qualified to give this kind of comparison. And Parallel Profits is the winner, hands down. Why? Because in the first year, you can meet that maximum tier of $100,000 in profit or more. You'll struggle to do that with any of the other business models. In year 3, you can reach $500,000 in profit or more. You'll struggle to do that with any of the other business models, just because margins are tight. Like we've said this before, but to do $100,000 in profit selling physical products, you got to do like $500,000 in revenue, that's a lot of sales, Or time commitment. Some of the other models have quite a bit of intense time commitment that you're required to put in on your part. This one doesn't, because we're doing so much of the delivery for you. Time to reach $1,000 in profit. That's a good metric to compare. And this is the only model that I know of, period, where you could be at $1,000 profit in your first 7 days once you've got everything set up. Startup cost, tiny. Steve mentioned it. You might need some business cards if you want them. You might need some brochures. You don't even need that, depending on which strategies you use. Most people will probably want to get them, but you don't even need that. So we're talking $0 to $200 at the very high end for business setup. There's no ads or anything to run. There's no inventory to buy. And, well, one other thing I just want to mention there, this is highly, highly predictable, okay? It's not like we're throwing a bunch of Facebook ads out there and seeing what works. It's not like we're launching a bunch of different products on Amazon to see which one sells. This is highly predictable, and we're dealing with a handful of sales. And because the business is so attractive, it also fetches a much, much higher sell price. So you can sell this kind of business, and even if you come in as a franchisee, it's still your business. You can still sell it, and you can sell it for 50 times, up to 50 times the monthly profits. Now, here's what your growth might look like. This assumes that you're making $1,500 a sale, and that your cost of doing business, so the cost of actually delivering the services, all said and done, is about 30%. And remember, the only times you have these costs is after you've already got the money, so you're never going out of pocket here. But let's say this is the case, and you acquire 2 new customers, 2 new sales each month, Then at the end of the year, you would have a yearly run rate of $25,000 profit per month. That's $302,000 profit per year, okay? Now, let's just dial it back a little bit. Let's say that you don't get $1,500 per sale. Maybe you get $750 per sale. And maybe instead of getting 2 customers a month, you just get 1 customer a month, 1 sale a month. That's okay. I can live with that. That'll get you in 12 months. You'll be at over $12,000 profit per month, which is $151,000 profit per year. Remember, we're talking profit here, not revenue. Okay? So guys, this is the real deal. This is a real opportunity, but the time to jump in is now. Franchises, these territories, these territories are being snapped up all the time. And the longer you wait, the higher the risk is that someone else is going to jump in on your territory. So guys, if you're ready to jump in and you haven't jumped in yet, jump in right now. If you still haven't jumped in, but you've just decided that you're going to jump in, type in number 2 in the question box for me to let me know that you are jumping in. If you've just finished jumping in, type in number 3 in the question box. And I'm not going to read out the names of everyone who's jumping in, but I can see a whole bunch of 2s that are just jumping in there. So thank you, and a bunch of 3s are jumping in. If you're sitting on the fence right now and, maybe you've got some concern, something you're unsure about, something that's just stopping you from being able to jump in, please just type it and type fence in big capital letters in the chat box, and type why you're on the fence. So Rodney, Diane, Laura, I can see you guys are on the fence. Richard, Sharon, Robert, Tyra, Ed, Darren, Carolyn, Christopher. Guys, if you're on the fence, then please let us know why you're on the fence so that we can try to help you, because time is of the essence here, okay? Time is not on your side, unfortunately. So I want to be able to help you, but we need to know why you're on the fence, okay? So a couple of people said they were on the fence because they joined the meeting late. All you need to do is you need to be able to get on the inside, basically, so you can make an informed decision. So even if you've only seen half the presentation, hopefully you've still seen all the components at least, so you can still jump in and you can make your decision later. Karen says, I'm on the fence because I'm choosing a territory. Actually, you don't need to choose your territory, Karen. We will do that for you. It's based on your zip code or your postal code, and remember, we are in this together. It's in our best interest to make sure that you've got a territory that's going to give you plenty of businesses that you can actually sell to. So don't let that stop you getting in, because I tell you what, if someone else is in your territory right now and they're jumping in, then you will miss out for good. But if you're on the fence because of the territory thing, then just get off the fence. If you're not in one of the 5 countries, jump in anyway, because it's a brilliant model, even if you're not able to be part of the franchise, okay? So, guys, you need to jump in right now, okay? Can I work this if I'm not in the USA? Yes. You can do it. Let's see. Can I do it in New Zealand? Yes, you can do it. What sort of potential has Australia got? It's a much smaller market. Yeah, but it's all relative, Melissa. It's all relative. And again, that's why it doesn't matter if you live in a town of 5,000 people or 5 million people, because it's all relative. You don't need many businesses to be able to sell to, and let us worry about that for you, okay? It's in our best interest to make sure that you get enough of the business density that you need, that your territory gives you the reach that you need. So we will do that for you. That's why your zip code that you're putting in, it's just indicative. It doesn't mean that that's what your territory is going to be. Steve, anything else that you want to add to that? And I've got a few more things I want to say here, by the way.
Yeah, but, sure. About the zip code? You mean about the zip code thing?
Yeah, or just, I see a lot of people that are on the fence, they're typing that in.
Yeah. The zip code thing is, it really, it's hard. All we're trying to do is figure out where people are and where we're going to be building territories. And it's the same thing that McDonald's does, right? I'll tell you that, we did a ton of research. We have a lot of data, and we had to do this for the franchise process, for all the legal requirements we have to jump through. We have a lot of data from, say, last year and previous years about how many people are going to take up our opportunities and where they live. So we use that as a guide. And so we have a lot of intelligence about where people are and then how to build territories around that. But we don't actually know for sure, right, 100%, until everybody comes in and says, yes, I want to participate, right? We really don't know. For all we know, every single person could be in the middle of London who wants to take this opportunity, right? It could happen. Not going to happen, but it could. So the idea here is that during the launch, what we're doing is not saying, oh, okay, well, this person has this territory, this person. We're saying, okay, this is where these people are living or planning on working or, whatever, that kind of thing. And we're just making sure that it matches up to what we expected. And if we get to the point, or when we get to the point where we feel like there's, a saturation that's reached that we didn't expect, we're going to shut those down. So even though that zip code in London, as an example, isn't necessarily a whole territory, it still gives us enough idea of, okay, well, that person, would have had a territory 3 blocks over or 4 blocks over or whatever, because it's such a big area there. And now we just can't, we can't absorb that, so we're going to have to shut it down. Anybody from that area at all. So I don't know, maybe I've confused people more, but hopefully that makes sense. I had a couple other people ask some questions. Paul says, aren't we at the mercy of you providing the experts? What if you stop offering them in the future? Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with McDonald's. If McDonald's stops offering the McDonald's burgers and the McRib sandwiches, I guess you don't really have a McDonald's franchise anymore. But they don't do that because everybody's making money, and that's what we're going to do. And we are supremely confident that everybody's going to be making money together with us, and so that we're never going to go away. Now, however, if something did happen, you're going to know enough about this to be able to figure out your own way of delivering those services, if that ever happened. But it's not going to happen, so it's not even an issue. People are asking, how do we establish credibility? Well, that's the beauty of a franchise. When you're Steve's Hamburger Place, you do have to establish credibility. When you're McDonald's, you do not. You do not. And we, the franchise owner, are the one that's going to be responsible for establishing credibility. And the franchisees, who are franchise owners of those franchises, are going to reap the benefits of that. But that will be our expense, which we've already started doing. And it kind of leads into the next question, which people were saying, well, what's the name of the franchise company? Because it's not, in other words, what's the McDonald's equivalent? What's the name? We're not giving that name out on purpose because it's going to be available to the people that join us. And we see no reason why giving it to tons of people who have, who aren't going to join us, some insight into start hacking websites and stuff. Believe me, we've been around the block, so stand by for that. Okay. Jonah's asking, how much legal stuff do you have to go through? Yeah, it's a pain in the neck. It's not that much. There's a disclosure document that every country and state in the United States requires. It's for your protection. It's interesting reading. It just lays it all out there. And so, yeah, you've got to review that, and you have to sign an NDA and a contract. And but this is, that's what you have to do when you're doing something that's real. That's just the bottom line. So.
Hey, Steve, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, can I do this? Can I do that? What about this? What about that? And a lot of these are questions that you don't need to worry about right now. These are people that are still on the fence, and they're worried about things which are only going to be worried about if they actually get in. So you're still on the fence, and you're worried about, can I do that? Can I sell in this area? Can I sell in that area? You just need to get in right now, or you're not even going to have any point in worrying about that. Okay? I've been marking down some common questions here as well, and I've actually got some slides which cover some of these main ones. So I'll just dive into that. And guys, if you have just jumped in, as in the past few minutes, then give me a 2 in the question box. If you've decided right now that you're going to jump in, and by the way, there's no point in waiting for us to end talking. Jump in right now. Just open up parallelprofits.com/start in a new window. Jump in right now because every minute that you wait here, you are risking letting someone else snap up your territory. So I want you to jump in right now. You can keep listening in the meantime. And if you are about to get in, give me a 3 or let me know that you're in the process of jumping in, okay? Now, a couple of things that are very common. They come up with this all the time. And I think the most common one is around the investment. And look, I get it. This is not chump change. This is a serious investment for a serious person because we have a serious offer to change your life. And just so we're clear, if the price tag is your main concern, then let's just be direct with one another. You know, a normal knee-jerk reaction when presented with an opportunity like this is just to say, I can't afford it. And I've been there. I know that. But let's be honest with one another. What we have here for you today is available for $2,497 or 3 payments of $997, which, of course, is nothing to sneeze at. You know, it's a significant amount of money. However, let's say that instead of having to invest $2,497 to get started in this program, you found out that you needed to have life-saving operation before tomorrow, and the cost was $2,497. You wouldn't say, hey, Aidan, I can't afford it, I'm just going to die. You know, of course not, and that's probably not, you know, the best example, but the point is, let's just get rid of the myth of whether you can afford it or not. The real question is, are you willing to do what it takes to make the investment or not? As you sit here today, you have 3 options. Option number 1 is to do nothing. And as Aristotle put it best, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. Doing nothing doesn't just leave you with a problem, it actually makes your problem worse the longer that you do nothing. So that's definitely not the best option. Option number 2 is that you could do something else. You know, you could follow another opportunity, but why? But why? You know, and I know that there is no easier path to financial freedom and building life-changing online business than what we're discussing here today. I think we've made that case. And option 3 is that you can jump in and you can just do it. Yes, it's an investment. Yes, money might be tight. Yes, this may be a stretch for you. Yes, you might have to go outside your comfort zone a little bit. But where do you think that your growth is going to come from? It doesn't happen, you know, when you stay inside your comfort zone. If you want change in your life for the better, and if you want to come on this once-in-a-lifetime journey, then you need to go to that link right now. It's important that you do it right now, or you may miss out. It's critically important that you don't wait, because if you do, your territory could be snapped up by someone else at any moment, and then this opportunity is gone forever. Okay, and that is, I mean, that's it. That's the real deal right there. If you snooze, you lose on this opportunity. And some other people sometimes talk about time, and they say, I don't have time. Now, for those of you that haven't signed up yet, maybe you're on the fence, and for those of you, especially those of you that from a financial point of view know that you can afford this, you know, you can feel comfortable knowing that you can make this investment without breaking a sweat perhaps, then the real question for you, because it's not about money, it's about time. You see, money can be replenished, but a minute gone is gone forever. Perhaps you want to know what's required of you in addition to the monetary investment. You know, what is required of your time? Well, here's something I do know for a fact. The first thing I know is that you can make time for the things that are worthwhile. We can all do that. In fact, you're here now, right now, 1.5 hours into this webinar. So I know for a fact that you've got some time. Do you have enough time? Well, time is the only thing that is given out equally to each and every person in this world. And it's not actually how much time you have, it's what you do with it that matters. So here's what I want you to do. If I can show you that this is an opportunity that can save you time, and by that I mean to make sure you have more free time than you currently do, would you sign up then? Hopefully you would. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to do this mentally, just in your head, in your mind, while we're talking right now. I want you to make a list of the top 3 things that you're currently doing to get ahead in life, to improve your lifestyle. And by that I mean, you know, your finances, your freedom, and of course your time. So perhaps you're working an extra job on the weekends, doing some overtime. Maybe you're setting up an e-commerce or affiliate business. Just think of the top 3 things. And whatever the third thing is on your list, just eliminate it. Stop doing that. Do parallel profits instead. Because what you're doing right now isn't cutting it. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be here with us on this call after 1.5 hours. You'd be doing something else if what you already had going on was good enough. If you knew for certain that you could improve your life, your finances, your freedom, just by waking up 15 minutes earlier each day or going to bed 15 minutes later, would you do it? I hope you would, because that's all you need to do to get started. We said 3, 4, 5 hours. It's enough per week to get started. But the first step is to go to that URL. You can see it on the screen there. Go there right now, sign up, or you will miss out. We start on Friday, okay? If you're jumping in right now, let me know. Give me a 1 if you're about to jump in. You've just decided to take the leap of faith and you're going to jump in. And, okay, so Christopher, Angela, congratulations, guys. I know it's scary jumping in. Murray, Omri, Caleb, great to have you with us. Michael, Laurie, Brian, Ian, John, Rose, Robert. Good on you guys for jumping in. Now, there's something else I want to share with you, okay? And that is to be resourceful. And I mentioned this once already, but this is a really important message. So I wanted to say it just again. Now, one thing, and I said this at the beginning, is that I've found in life is that the people who get ahead are the people who are resourceful, not necessarily the people that have got all the resources. The reality is that the best way to change a situation, any situation, is just by getting out there and doing whatever it takes to make it happen. And sometimes being resourceful means going outside your comfort zone a little bit, but I'd rather do that than live in discomfort permanently. I've also found that it doesn't take money to make money. And if that were true, then you know what? I would still be delivering pizzas for Pizza Hut, $10 an hour. I wouldn't be sitting here as a multi-millionaire here before you today, okay? If you have the resources at your disposal, then I'm sure you're going to jump into this opportunity and you can see the link and you can do it right now. But if resources are tight, then it's time for you to get resourceful. Think about how you can make this happen. We're not asking you to buy into a Burger King franchise, which is going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars and lots of criteria, okay? That kind of thing is beyond the grasp of most people. But $2,497 or 3 payments of $997, that is accessible to pretty much anyone that really wants it. The truth is that the more resourceful you need to be to get into this, I'll put my money on you being one of the people that absolutely crushes it because you know how much you want it. And you can see the link there, but you need to jump in right now. There's something else that I want to do. And look, before I do this, I'm going to give away $1,250 cash. Okay, I do have something else. that I want to do. I'm going to give away $1,250 cash. And then in a few minutes' time, we're going to give away another $1,250 cash. It sounds like a good deal. Give me a 1 in the question box. And I do have a few other things that I want to share with you. Steve, can you, I'm going to put this on you. Can you randomly pick out someone who's in the audience here?
To win the first one?
Yeah, to win the first one.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. Who is it?
Oh, you want me to tell you? So it is Nancy. Sorry. I picked the people who said 1. I looked through and I just randomly picked the people who typed in 1. Nancy Depauk, Depauk. Nancy, if you could give us your email address, that would be awesome. And congrats.
Nancy, congratulations. So, Nancy, just drop your email address in the chat box there, and we will follow up with you, okay? So we'll reach out to you, and we will give you the $1,250, okay? So we will give some more away in just a second. And in the meantime, guys, then just, again, let me know if you are jumping in. I do have a couple more things that I want to share with you today because I think these are helpful and I think they're important. And the first is what I call the when-then trap. Now, most people like to think in a when-then way, which is, it's why most people end up broke at the age of retirement. And this when-then approach to their life is disastrous. So people say to me, hey, Aidan, when I have more time, then I'm going to start my business. And that's kind of like someone saying, when I feel better, I'm going to start living healthier. Or when I have more money, I'm going to start investing and building wealth. And not just, worrying about making ends meet. But life doesn't work in that way. You've been waiting for that your whole life. And if you let yourself continue to wait, we may as well give up right now. It's actually the action that creates results, not the waiting. So you say, Aidan, when I have more time, I just say stop. Be thankful for the little time that you do have. And you are on this webinar right now after 90 minutes, so actually 2 hours. So I know that you have some time. Be thankful for the time that you have. That means that you're going to be forced to make the most out of the time that you put into parallel profits investment, because you don't have a second to lose. You don't have the luxury to waste any more time. You know what limits most people? It's not actually time, it's opportunity. Because there's 7.5 billion people on this planet, but only a tiny, tiny fraction of those are ever going to see this opportunity. But you are seeing it. So you are seeing the opportunity. It's available to you right now. So now is the time to do this. The opportunity is here. You've got zero risk. Whatever time you have available is more than sufficient to get started and make a serious go of this. But you need to jump in right now. Okay? You need to jump in right now. And guys, just give me a 1 if you can still hear me in the chat box. I know we had a technical glitch behind the scenes. Yep. Okay, cool. And I've got, let's just see here. I'm going to give you one more little tip here. Talk about what money is good for, and then we're going to give away another $1,250. Okay, so what is money good for? You know, the thing about money and what most people worry about is not the price tag. It's about what they get in exchange for the money that they pay. So besides actually burning money to stay warm, which we would have done in, tens of thousands of years ago, there's little value in actually having money. Money is only good in what you can exchange it for. Now, your hope when you purchase something is that whatever you get in exchange is better than keeping your money and spending it on something else. And here's what I know about you. You need to exchange money to improve your life. We all do. How can you feel more comfortable than exchanging it for something else other than parallel profit? What would you need to know for certain right now to be comfortable about making this exchange? Remember, all we're asking you to do is to get on the inside so that you can make an informed decision. Once you're on the inside, at least you know that you're in at that point, and then, 59 minutes from now, 59 days from now, you can still back out and we'll give you your money back, no hard feelings. But if there is something else that you need to know, type it in the chat box right now. Now, there's something else that I know this for a fact. You could figure it all out yourself. I'm 100% certain that with enough trial and error, enough time and effort, you could figure all the ins and outs of setting up and running this on your own. Without our training, you could do it all on your own. I have no doubt about that, because what we do here is not difficult. At least it's not difficult once you know what not to do. However, how do you value your time? I know without the slightest doubt that the shortcuts you will get inside of Parallel Profits will save you 1,000 hours or more of figuring out on your own. I know it. But forget about that. Let's say it saves you 250 hours. 250 hours, to put that in perspective, is about 1 month worth of trial and error work. Forget about how much face you're going to save by not making the mistakes that we've made over the years. Forget about that feeling of confidence that you'll have by following a proven system and actually having us doing so much of the heavy lifting for you versus trying to pave your own path through the maze of obstacles. Let's just talk time. If the only thing that you save here is a month's worth of trial and error, so 250 hours, then you do the math. The investment is $2,497. That works out at around about $10 per hour in savings. Now, if you make less than $10 per hour currently, then this is not a good deal for you, if you make less than $10 per hour. But if you value your time at more than what's basically the minimum wage, then this is a great deal for you, because in addition to getting everything that you need to build this business, the chance to genuinely partner with us by having your own franchise of our business and all the other perks that come along with this program, you now have an extra 250 hours of freedom to enjoy in your life. And when you combine that with everything else that you're getting here today, hopefully you can see that the only logical thing to do is to jump in here with us using the link that you can see on the screen right now. But don't delay. This deal isn't like most. Specific territories are limited. They will be snapped up. So we might not be shut down, but you might be locked out. People will miss out, and I don't want that person to be you. Okay, a couple more things, and then we'll give away that other bit of cash. And I'm trying to leave you with some things that I've picked up over the years here, because I think it will genuinely help you. And the next one is about habits, and old habits die hard. And look, even the bad ones, they're hard to change, aren't they? I mean, we all have some. And this is why you've probably been struggling to build your business to the level that you want for so long, despite perhaps your best attempts. Maybe you've tried jumping in on a program, but it hasn't worked out for some reason. And if we're honest with one another right now, this one webinar right now is highly unlikely to forge any new, more empowering habits in your life that give you financial freedom, to change your family's life forever. Even if you make progress based on what we've discussed here today, chances are it'll be temporary. Willpower usually doesn't take you very far, and old habits creep back in. And you'll end up right back where you started. Perhaps you've seen this happen over and over again. If you're serious about true and lasting change, you need repeated exposure to training, to tools, to systems, and to environment. We are working with people like Steve and I, where everything right down to the last detail has been designed and packaged up for you. So we basically hardwired success into your life. That's where the magic happens. This is unlike anything that we've done before. It's why we are so passionate about it. It's why I feel like I could talk for hours about this stuff, because I really am so passionate about it, and we're passionate about helping you. This is a genuine partnership opportunity. And I hope you're ready for this. If you've just decided that you're going to jump in, give me a 3 in the question box. If you've just decided that you're going to jump in, we're going to be wrapping this up very quickly now. Tracy, Sean, Cynthia, David, Rose, go ahead and jump in, guys. Gaynor, Alexi, Eduardo, Martin. Guys, jump in right now. Don't wait any longer to jump in. Now is the time to jump in. One other thing I want to leave you with, I call this the pricing paradox. Okay, access to this opportunity, it's not cheap, and I get it. And the best things in life, you know what? They're almost never cheap. They always require some effort. Okay, either financial effort or time effort or both. And cheap things, or the things that do come too easily, they're almost never very good, are they? So when deciding on creating parallel profits, we were faced with 2 choices. The first was to create a solution that catered to as many people in the market as possible. You're probably familiar with this approach because it's what almost everyone else does. We could have just figured out how to give you the bare minimum, glorified PDF, and hope that somehow you'll make things work. And if we took this path, we could have, we could make the cost of this lower, maybe $10, maybe $50, maybe $100 to jump in. That's option 1. The second option we had was to not start at the price, but instead focus on the value. Now, if we wanted to put every advantage we could in your favor to make sure your success was inevitable, and really err on the side of giving you so much value that it'll be impossible for anything other than life-changing success to turn up in your life, then what would that look like? But the problem with the second approach is that it immediately turns off most of the market who care about results. However, can you see what kind of advantage this gives us? We can truly engineer a one-of-a-kind solution that you can't get anywhere else from anyone else, because we started with the question of what would it take to succeed? And we devoted all of our resources to that, to find that answer. And then we figured out how to get it to you in the most economical way possible. So this offer isn't for hobbyists, or it isn't for the person with just the slight desire to get ahead in your life. And if that's you, then you really don't need to be on this workshop. This is for someone who's serious. And look, if you're listening to this now, you probably know who you are. You probably know if this is for you. This is for the serious individual, and it's for the person that's not going to let the price tag get in the way of a life of freedom and mediocrity. And yes, what we have today, it costs a little bit more, but I tell you what, in return, we can give you a lot more. And isn't that what's more important? I mean, we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in setting all this up, legal franchises. I mean, this is not like whipping together a PDF. You know, you can't even compare this to anything anyone has done in the past, at least in the online space that I know of. What you're getting here is the opportunity to get all of the training and an opportunity to participate in a real franchise as a partner with us. And believe me, once you're on the inside and working through this, you'll see the difference immediately. This can change your life. You need to use that link right now to jump in. Or you could just do nothing. You've got two decisions. The first is to do nothing. That's easy. Anyone can do that. Don't take the leap of faith. Don't invest in parallel profits. Just settle for what you've got, and you're going to get what you've always got. You know, but ask yourself, how's that been working out for you? Are you really happy with what you've got? Will you settle for that? Your second choice is to pony up to this little investment. And again, I said it, little investment. Because that's what it is when you compare it to all the value that you're getting here. Just give it a shot. If it works out, you keep it. If not, then we'll give you your money back. Either way, you've invested in yourself. You've made a real lifestyle change a priority. And I've only ever seen good things happen to people that do that. So do nothing, and I guarantee you, you will get nothing. Or get started right now by going to that URL. You can see it there, parallelprofits.com/start, and you can get started. Now, the last thing I'm going to leave you with, and then we are going to give away $1,250, is that I'm really nothing special, okay? And if you consider the facts for a moment, then you'll realize that. It's not that, I've got this God-given gift, for this kind of thing. I just worked my butt off for several years using trial and error methods, and I finally started getting some results. I spent thousands studying and running campaigns, making mistake after mistake. Maybe you've even done that as well. Perhaps you have. Until a few things started working. But the key thing that I want you to know is this. I'm not of, above average intelligence. I wasn't, blessed with above average online marketing skills. I didn't study anything related to marketing, nor do I have any other, advantages going in other than a really strong reason why to succeed. So I want to share my personal story with you a little bit. You see, I had shifted to Argentina. It was 2005. I couldn't speak Spanish. I was on a tourist visa, meaning that no company would give me a job. Not that they would want to, because I couldn't speak Spanish. So my options were basically to figure out how to make money online or go home with my tail between my legs and, ask for some support from my parents in New Zealand. And I sure as hell didn't want that to happen. I didn't want to do that, So we mentioned earlier that Steve's first online business was what we were talking about here today, selling simple services. But what we haven't mentioned is that almost in a parallel universe, because I hadn't even met Steve yet, I started selling services to local businesses here in Buenos Aires, Argentina. In fact, one of the first things we'll do when we're on the inside is I'll share some of the specifics of that business. I'll share the website with you. It still exists today, all the details. But the point right now is I had no special skills or experience, but I was able to work hard, fail often, never give up. And believe me, I did fail a lot because I was selling services to local businesses in Buenos Aires. I couldn't even speak Spanish. Anyway, the point is, if you share that mindset, then you can do this. I promise you that. But don't do what I did. Don't spend years working on, trial and error to crack the code. Why would you want to do that? Why would you do that when you can save thousands of hours of headache and heartache by simply exchanging a small amount of money? Relatively, we're talking about a small amount of money here for all of our secrets, all of our templates, all of our operating procedures, all of our marketing blueprint, the entire roadmap that will lead you to immediate sales. Breeze right on past, all of the headaches and you'll get thousands of hours worth of intel. So you can make money in a matter of days, not weeks or months. Or in my personal case, it took me years. So when you look at it like that, I think you'll probably agree that what we're offering you here really is the deal of the century. And I hope you take us up on it. I would love to work with you. I would love to get to know you, to partner with you, and to help you build your business. Because remember, when your business grows, my business grows. We're all chasing the same goal here. So this webinar is going to end very soon. Territories are being snapped up by the minute right now. So I urge you, don't wait any longer. We are waiting to work with you, but you need to take the leap of faith. Go to that URL right now. Give me a 1 in the question box if you're not in, but you're about to jump in. And right now, just while we've got Cynthia, John, Mirala, guys, go ahead and do it now. We're wrapping this up right now. Before we do, though, another $1,250 cash. And Steve, if you want to pick someone out there, then we can wrap this up.
This one I'm going to pick from people that have been asking questions. So I am picking, all right, here we go. Marguerite Pocknell. Pocknell is spelled Pocknell, and that's Marguerite Pocknell. So, Marguerite, if you could send me your email, or if you don't get a chance to do that, you can reach out to support@parallelprofits.com. But please send me your email here. That would be great.
All right, guys. Well, I think I've pretty much said everything I can say there. I mean, I don't know what else I could tell you. We would love to have you with us, but you need to jump into this right now. We really are giving you everything that you could possibly need. I mean, you deserve this. So many other knuckleheads are out there, and they manage to make online businesses work. So if you're willing to work hard, then just do it. Don't let your fear of embarrassment, stop you from doing this. This is a real once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I want you to think about as well, what will happen if you don't do this? If nothing changes, then nothing changes. You need to initiate that change. Don't let another year slide by. 2019 is there for the taking, but you need to jump in right now. What's the worst that could happen? You've got zero financial risk. All you need to do is invest some of your time. You've got 60 days to test this out for yourself. Believe me, this is time well spent. This is your comfort zone. And where the magic happens in life is when you go outside the comfort zone. So it's okay to be afraid, but jump in anyway. Guys, thank you so much for attending here today. It's been a real pleasure to put this workshop on with you. And thank you for so many of you who have put your trust in us. For those of you that are, needing to arrange finances, all I would say is just do it quickly, because this really will shut down. This is no kind of false scarcity. I mean, when your territory is gone, then I'm sorry, but you will miss out. And we start on Friday. Okay, so and you should get an email after you sign up. Check your spam folder, promotions folder, and look, I'm just pumped up about working with you and helping you build a business, because that's what we're going to be doing. So guys, thank you so much, and we will talk again soon.
Take care.